What is up? What is up, YouTube? Man, I'm trying to do all kinds of different things, but what's going on? Check it out, man. Hey, I'm at this channel. Something real new. I'm see what this brother's about, man. Everybody taking a stab at YouTube, bro. I love it. I love it, man. I love that. Behind the Bars is the name of his channel. He got 1,000 subscribers. Okay. So, you look like you're eligible to be monetized, or you need 4,000 watch hours also, y'all. Check this out, man. Court takes the game house. What? The court takes the game's house. 7.1 million sexual battery judgment. Oh, Lord. Here we go. What? The game? Oh, my God. The game saying that he party with Puffy. Yeah, Diddy like to party. So yep. The game and Puffy is partying. Oh my God. Rapper The Game has been court ordered to sell his multi-million-dollar home to satisfy a $7.1 million judgment stemming from a sexual battery lawsuit filed by reality TV contestant 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗞𝗦. After years of evading payment, Lord have mercy. Let's see what this is about, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, baby. I don't know too much about the game, man, and I wasn't really into his music. I just know him because he was part of the G unit. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy out.
Well, we're going to call this one the silliest and stupidest way to lose $7 million, starring The Game. And Hip Hop DX reported as such: The Game forced to sell house to cover $7 million judgment. Now you may ask yourself, how did he get here? I'm glad you asked that question, because I'm going to tell you. So sometime back in 2015, The Game starred in this VH1 reality show. Maybe some of you saw it. It was.
What's up with the bow tie, bro? You got on a t-shirt, a round neck t-shirt, but you got a bow tie on. What's up with the bow tie? I don't get that part. Maybe The Game told you to wear the bow tie or something. I'm trying to like the microphone. You got a top of the line microphone though, baby. Give me that microphone so I can take it on the road with me. I'm using this microphone while I'm on the road, but I think the clip-on is better. But I got the AC on, man, because I'm in the Philippines and it's hotter than 100 hamburgers in the Philippines.
I'm glad you asked that question, because I'm going to tell you. So sometime back in 2015, The Game starred in this VH1 reality show. Maybe some of you saw it. It was called, She Got Game. Yeah, that's it. And in She Got Game, it was sort of kind of like The Bachelor. And The Bachelor, in this particular case, was The Game. And The Game was with all of these women, and these women were supposed to actually, try to figure out a way that they can get with The Game so they can be in a relationship with him. This was in 2015. So they were filming one day in Chicago. And while they were filming in Chicago, The Game decided to take this young lady by the name of Priscilla Rainey out on an off-camera date to a suburban sports bar. Okay, now first of all, the off-camera date wasn't supposed to happen in the first place because it was what the court said an apparent violation of competition rules. But he decided that he wanted to do it, and she decided to go. Now, I don't know why she went. Maybe it's because, she was trying to win over his favors. She was trying to win the competition, and if this would give her a leg up, then maybe that would help. I'm not 100% sure and can't speak for her, but I'm figuring that probably or could have happened. Anyway, so he decided to take her someplace. So we're going to start right there. For all of the G's and all of the hustlers out here, I just want you to look at this. So he took her. Where do you think he took her? Did he take her someplace nice? Maybe he gave her a private, date on a yacht somewhere, with violins playing, or maybe, somebody singing in the background, or maybe Babyface came out talking about, you got that whip appeal, or something like that. Maybe something happened, and it was be a real nice evening, Nah, he didn't take her there. You know where he took her to? He took her to Adriana's. Adriana's. Now, of course, many of you are not familiar with Adriana's. So Adriana's is the name of a club that was in Markham, Illinois. Markham, Illinois, it's a smaller city somewhere south of Chicago. But anyway, our Adriana's was known for shootings, shootouts, people getting shot all the time, some crazy things going on. Even though they still had a lot of good entertainers come through. I mean, not only the game went on there on that particular day, but Rick Ross also went. Who else? Lil Wayne had been there. Waka Flocka had also been there, and a few other entertainers had come through, but they were working, okay? They weren't dating, they were actually working. In this particular case, the game was taking Rainey on a date to a place where it's basically as hood as it wanna be. He decides to take her there.
So basically what you're telling me is these thug game hip hop people are so thugged out and so gamed out that they can't even really, really romantically take a woman somewhere nice. They don't even know how to ask somebody, yo, I really want to impress this lady. Where should I take her? 5-star hotel, or maybe I'm just so cheap I don't want to spend a lot of money on her. And what make it so bad is she went. I'm like, nah, let's turn her back around. I don't want to go to this ranchy place. Now, I mean, on this level, you on this level. Now, if you broke, she broke, maybe this is what they both like. I don't get it. I don't get it.
In this particular case, the game was taking Rainey on a date to a place where it's basically as hood as it want to be. He decides to take her there.
Facts.
So,
hood.
In the club, there's a lower level and then there's a higher level. And on the upper level, the elevated level, you know, people can see from the lower level to the elevated level of what's going on. And so there's, you know, the VIPs up there mostly, the game was up there, of course Rainey was up there as well, and of course the lights were shining all over the place and, you know, shining on them. So while this was going on and the lights were shining on them, the game, for whatever reason, decides that he wants to lift up the young lady's skirt. And that's exactly what he did. He lifted up her skirt and grabbed her bare buttocks and vajayjay. That's exactly what he did. Now, I'm gonna read you exactly what the court said because I don't wanna get this wrong because he gonna need some money and I don't want him trying to sue me in order to get it. Now, the court says she tried to break away, but he did it again. This time, lifting her rear end up and exposing her intimate parts to the gawking crowd. So everybody was watching this. It continues. As Rainey struggled to push him away and lower her skirt, he grabbed her bare buttocks and vajayjay. Now, they didn't use the word vajayjay. A third time, he also grabbed and juggled her breast for the entertainment of the onlookers. Now, I just want to go back here because I want to make sure that Sister Girl understand it. I'm not laughing at her or what happened to her. I'm laughing because this guy was foolish enough to do something like this. It's like he or other people like him don't understand who they are. And so they just go ahead and do this stuff. You're just going to Donald Trump somebody,
grab him by the
in the middle of the crowd on an elevated stage with the lights on you and everybody looking up at you. My goodness. And so, and then, you know, and you think that that's okay. That's the thing that gets me. You think that that's all right. So he did all of this and everybody was looking on. And that's the way that the court document said it. So this happens, I'm pretty sure that at that point in time, the date was over. And at that point in time, I'm pretty sure she was fed up. Actually, I know she was fed up because 3 days later, she confronted the game on the show's tour bus. So now this is 3 days later. She's still hot. 3 days later on the show's tour bus in front of the other cast members and the film crew, okay? And she told him that she didn't like what he did. And not only did she not like what he did, you know what I'm saying, that she wanted everybody to know. Now, the game didn't like her, fronting him off like that, because he's supposed to be, Pimp Daddy, Mac Daddy, and all the rest of this stuff. So he didn't like the fact that she was putting him on Front Street. And he didn't like the fact that she was telling everybody on the bus. So what happened is they got into an argument on the bus. And when they get on the argument on the bus, then he turns around and he tells her once again, straight from the court document, quote, what you can do is be a woman and shut up like you can shut up right now. Now you done sat up here and you done, as they say, lifted up the woman's skirt, exposed her bare buttocks, her vajayjay, and juggled her breast. And now you expect for her to shut up like you can shut up right now? Oh my gosh. But she wouldn't be quiet, and they kept arguing. So eventually, the game got fed up, and he told her, and I'm gonna quote it again, get off this bus before you get your ass strangled. So now, he gonna strangle the woman. And
wait a minute, so oh my God. So you mean to tell me that you violated this girl like she was, what, meat? Like you owned her? Like you've been dating her for a little while? Like she was a pole dancer or a stripper? You violated her like even like you knew her. Like you knew she was gonna be okay with this. I never heard this story. Oh man, you think I didn't like you then? And you partying with Puffy for 2 years and ain't record nothing. What in the world is wrong with you, man? There's some wild people in this world. Wild people in this world.
Get off this bus before you get your ass strangled. So now he gonna strangle the woman and threaten to, quote, choke her ass up. You know what? I couldn't write this myself, okay? I really couldn't. This is unbelievable. So let's go back. First of all, number one, he took her to Adriana. He might as well took her to White Castles or the local burger joint or something like that. He should have took her there. But he took her to this place. And it wasn't even a place where they could be intimate and be private. So he wants to get intimate with her in front of all these people. That's the first thing he did that, in my opinion, was a problem, okay? And I'm really apologize for her because of the simple fact that she went because she probably thought that she was going somewhere nice. And she probably didn't know what Adriana's was, who knows? But anyway, so he takes her there. Then he fills her up in front of a whole crowd. Then when she gets upset about the fact that he was filling her up in front of a whole crowd, then he turns up and he turns around and says to her that, hey, she need a woman up. And then after she decides that she's not going to take it, which honestly tell you she shouldn't take it at all, then he tells her that she gonna get her ass strangled and threaten to choke her ass up. And you're doing this to a female, dog. A female. Man, come on. And so what happens is, it really gets me because a lot of times, you see these rappers and things like that, and they act like they real hard
crazy,
and stuff like
man.
that. I don't have no respect.
Oh, before you even go there. This is crazy, man. How in the world? This is crazy. You gonna sit there and say this to a female? Yeah. Hold up, man.
She gonna get her ass strangled and threaten to choke her ass up. And you're doing this to a female, dog. A female. Man, come on. And so what happens is, it really gets me because a lot of times, you see these rappers and things like that, and they act like they real hard and stuff like that. I don't have no respect for no man that puts his hand on another woman or even threatens to do so. Look, if you got to feel that way, then he should have got off the bus. That's what should have happened. He should have got off the bus. He should have went and got himself together because obviously he was acting outside of himself. Or at least I think he was. And in those particular cases, I mean, there's times when you do get upset. But you still, if you're acting outside of yourself like that, then you need to take a chill pill. Because honestly, he's the one with the millions of dollars, and she's the one who has something to gain. So he's gonna let her basically operate in a way that she's causing him to act outside of himself. And this is what he gets for it. So in August 2000.
Man, how much was the lawsuit for? Was the lawsuit for $7 million? Is the house worth $7 million? Oh my God, this is messed up, man. Come on, game. Oh my gracious, how did this get
basically
past me?
Operate in a way that she's causing him to act outside of himself. And this is what he gets for it. So in August 2015, Priscilla Rainey, of course, does what she's supposed to do, in my opinion, and she files for sexual battery in the federal courts. And she's trying to get the game served, because that's the first thing you got to do when you make the complaint. You file the complaint, and then of course you have to serve the other party. And in this particular case, the game is the defendant, so she has to serve him. So she gets several process servers because he keeps evading service each and every time. And according to the court documents, one process server made 41 attempts to serve him at his California home. 41 attempts. Now that was one of them, not all of them. But eventually, he was served. And what did he do? He didn't answer the lawsuit. So let me start there. Whether you are a millionaire, whether you are a celebrity, wherever you are, whatever it is, you get the complaint, and answer the lawsuit. Okay? Unless you got some legal strategy that your lawyers told you, and mind you, I'm not giving legal advice, so I want to make sure we get that clear. But unless your lawyer is telling you to do something such as that, and hopefully that was it in his particular case, answer the lawsuit. But pay attention to what your lawyer is telling you. So I'm assuming that must have been what happened, because in this particular case, he did not answer the lawsuit. Okay? So on February 1st, 2016, the judge entered a default judgment under Rule 55 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Okay? We're not going to go into the federal rules. All we're going to do is say he got a default judgment because he didn't show up. Okay? At some point in time, he started taking this seriously, because 10 days later, an attorney appeared before a judge on behalf of the game trying to set aside the default order. The judge went ahead and vacated that order and scheduled a trial for November 14th of 2016. Now let's back it up a little bit, okay? Because remember, the default judgment came February 1st, 2016. The court set a trial date for November 14th, 2016. But somewhere in between, when you have a trial date and you schedule, there's also what's called a magistrate judge. And so the magistrate judge set a settlement conference. What the court tries to do is the court tries to figure out if there's a way that it can be settled. They set a settlement conference for June 16th, 2016. But on June 2nd, the game moved to reschedule the settlement conference because he was concerned for his safety based on Chicago's gun violence problem. Now, the reason why I'm smiling the way that I'm smiling now is because of the simple fact that he took her to Adriana's. And once again, we can go through shooting after 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 shooting at Adriana's. But now all of a sudden, he's concerned about Chicago's gun violence problem. Big old tough the game is concerned about the gun violence problem. What the magistrate judge did was he canceled, well, I don't know if it was a he or a she, but they canceled the settlement conference for other reasons, and it was never rescheduled. At that point, the game just continually tried to use different maneuvers to try to get out of having to appear in court. He tried to change the venue. He moved to continue the trial. And all while this was going on, he was continually on social media attacking this woman. Specifically, once again, what the court said, he engaged in a series of, quote, vile public attacks against Rainey on social media. For instance, after she filed this suit, Taylor viciously insulted her in a public Instagram post, depicting himself as a fighter wearing boxing gloves. Taylor called Rainey a thirsty Gatorade mascot of a transvestite, accused her of having a history of a lot of other, I don't even know what it is, a lot of other something else activity, and claimed that she sued him because she was eliminated from the She's Got Game competition. The court goes on to say there was more, but we see no need to repeat Taylor's most vulgar insults. So what you're hearing right now weren't even the vulgar ones. Those were the lightweight ones. The most vulgar ones, the court wouldn't even, say anything about. And then he concludes with, see you in court, and calls her Mr. Rainey. So as the court says, on these facts, it's abundantly clear that Taylor's conduct warranted further sanction.
Hold on, wait a minute. Now you're saying you're calling her or him, and you're saying that, you the one went out with her, and you lift the dress up and started showing her private parts to the world. Now you're saying it's a dude. That's what you call a sore loser. What? Y'all heard that, right?
Vulgar ones. Those were the lightweight ones. The most vulgar ones, the court wouldn't even, say anything about. And then he concludes with, see you in court, and calls her Mr. Rainey. So,
Mr. Rainey. You trying to say it's a dude. So you hurting yourself, bruh. You trying to say what you maybe you and Puffy party for 2 years because you like dudes. And maybe she was a dude at one time or something. I don't know. Dude, you're not looking good, gamester. The gamester is a game to you.
So as the court says, on these facts, it's abundantly clear that Taylor's conduct warranted further sanction. And so while he's trying to do all these maneuvers, he's not showing up for court. He didn't show up for jury selection. Jury selection started. And y'all already know right now, because if anybody's watching this, we're going to watch this sometime in the future, we have trials of these celebrities and they have to have jury selection. Well, the game didn't show up. So his attorney told the court that the game would be there the next day. And on the next day, did he show up? What you think? Did he show up? No, he did not show up. He allegedly had 2, not 1, but 2 emergency root canals, and he asked for a continuance. So his attorney produced a note from a dental clinic. Now, I'm going to do some laughing here because I think this stuff is absolutely insane. But once again, I'm not laughing at the situation itself because the situation is extremely serious. I'm laughing at the way this guy conducted himself in front of the court. And like nobody was ever going to see this stuff in the first place. Anyway, his attorney produced a note from a dental clinic and asked the judge to call to confirm the excuse. So the judge did just that. He called the dentist. And the dentist explained everything and he backed up the game's story. So he was supposed to have these 2, not 1, but 2 root canals. And the dentist backed up the story.
Crazy.
And he, told the judge that, the game was not his regular client, but that the game called the emergency hotline at about 6 o'clock that Sunday. That was it. And, you would think that he would get a continuance. It makes sense to me. But there was something else going on. And that was Priscilla Rainey. Her attorney responded by submitting several screenshots from the game's Snapchat account. So this is crazy. The photos showed Taylor smoking something in a dark room under pink neon lights at 2:44 a.m. on Monday, November 14th. And the judge said, well, it looks like as if Taylor was out partying in the middle of the night just a few hours after he placed the call to an emergency dental hotline and a few hours before he was due in court in Chicago. He decides to go ahead and have this alleged 2, not 1, but 2 root canals. He sends the judge a doctor's note to excuse him from being in court that particular day.
That's crazy,
The judge
man.
calls, and the judge talks to the dentist, and the dentist said, yeah, you know, I did the 2 root canals. And so after he does the 2 root canals, then that's supposed to be it.
This is crazy.
All the while the other side got photos of him because he put himself on Snapchat. He put himself on Snapchat, showing that he was out doing something else when all the while, he was basically lying to the court for all intents and purposes. Once again, you couldn't make this stuff up. So, of course, the judge denied the continuance, and on Wednesday, the game did not appear in court again. So what do you think happened next? Well, the trial continued without the game. And according to the court documents, the jury returned a verdict for Priscilla Rainey with an amount of $1.13 million in compensatory damages and $6 million in punitive damages. That's what she got.
Whoa.
We're talking about $7.13 million. Now, the game moved for a new trial.
$7 million.
And for the judge to...
Damn, wait a minute, man. I thought he had to sell a house for $7 million. I didn't know he owed her the whole $7 million. Point one. Put the point one on there, Uncle Mike. Nah, dog, I would have been to court. Nah, I can't be lifting nobody dress up for $7 million. Honey, lift your dress up. I should lift for $7 million. This man to lift the guy dress up. Now he owe her $7 million. Yeah. He's a rapper. She like, Nah, I can't lift nobody dress up for that much. I guess that's a very expensive dress. I can't do that, man. No, I can't do that. It ain't $7 million worth of stuff up under the dress in the first place. Not $7 million. No way.
That's what she got. So we're talking about $7.13 million. Now, the game moved for a new trial. And
of course,
for the judge to reduce, the amount of the damages. But that was denied. So he appealed to the appeals court. And the appeals court, of course, affirmed the lower court. So he lost that when he went ahead and appealed. Since that time, the game has been basically using legal maneuvers, and Miss Rainey has had to go through a variety of hoops and hurdles in order to try to figure out a way to collect on the $7 million that was ordered by the judge and that the appeals court
I wonder
affirmed.
How long ago this was? How long ago all this happened, and how long has she been trying to collect her money? How long she been dodging, or how long the game been dodging a bullet? I wonder how long
he
this been
insulted her after she had filed the lawsuit. Just demonstrated that he needed some type of correction, and so they upheld the amount of the verdict.
Wow.
But he continually tried and tried and tried and tried to get away with, not paying her until now. So on May 2nd of this year, the judge entered an order to sell the game's home to try to cover the $7 million judgment. Now, the home is currently up for sale. And you can go online and check it out. And here are some pictures, showing you what the house looks like in case you got some money and you want to buy the game's home. It's currently up for sale for a little bit, I think it's around $4 million, which still won't cover her judgment. But the judge has ordered for it to be sold, so it will be sold. And there's really, for all intents and purposes, no way that the game is going to get out of this. What it seems like, and I'm going to be really corny here, but yeah, the game was playing a game with the court. And you don't play games with the court. Honestly, you will lose.
This is house.
The judge has ordered for it to be sold, so it will be sold. And there's really, for all intents and purposes, no way that the game is going to get out of this. What it seems like, and I'm going to be really corny here, but yeah, the game was playing a game with the court. And you don't play games with the court. Honestly, you
$4 million house.
will lose. And in this particular case, all of the things that were done, he could have at least defended himself, and maybe that would have put him in a situation where he didn't get as much of a punitive damage. Because if he had expressed some remorse or something like that, maybe that would have mitigated or lessened what the jury would have given. But the bottom line is, he didn't even appear. Because he didn't appear, he lost $7 million. And that's why this is the silliest and the stupidest way for anybody to lose $7 million that I've ever heard of. So, ladies and gentlemen, hope you learned something from this. Like I said, I apologize once again because, first of all, sexual assault is very serious. So we want to make sure that we understand that. But this is not about sexual assault. That has already been adjudicated. What is
That's
so
facts.
hilarious here is the way that the game decided, either by himself or through his counsel or some other people around him, that he was going to handle this situation, and it did not work out well.
Gonna handle it like you do in the streets, man. This don't make no sense, young. You took her to a raunchy little place. Oh my God, it's a game. It's a game, man. These women out there looking for true love, and you making it.
Tell
into
me
a
what
game.
you think. Do you think that the game was crazy? Is this the stupidest way to lose $7 million? Put it in the comments. Of course, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell. I love to hear from you. And until then, I'll talk to you later. But as I always say, what it is, what it do. See you later, guys. Don't forget,
what it is and what
subscribe and check out my other videos.
That's crazy, man. Look. I need to look this up, man. Should I look up something? Oh my God. The game house. Let's do this.
Has been ordered to sell his multi-million-dollar Southern California mansion to pay back a woman who accused him of sexual assault. Taylor, 45,
crazy,
was sued in 2015 by Priscilla Rainey, who alleged that the rapper inappropriately touched her during the production of his VH1 reality series, She's Got Game, on which she was a contestant. The Hate It or Love It rapper denied the allegations, but failed to appear in court for the 2016 trial, leading to a default judgment. Rainey was awarded around $1.1 million in compensatory damages for the alleged assault, and an additional $6 million in punitive damages. After years of non-payment, a judge ordered the game to sell his Calabasas home to satisfy the judgment. Taylor argued the property was protected under California's homestead exemption, but the court disagreed, stating he lacked a qualifying interest to claim such protection. The game has consistently denied the allegations, expressing his frustration on social media and maintaining his innocence. Every girl on that show will tell you I never touched this chick or ever desired to be anywhere near her. She got kicked off the show, and as a result, she filed this lame lawsuit, which was probably her intentions before the show was ever even started.
Man, hey, I'm gonna let y'all know, man, these celebrities and everything, you gotta watch yourself, man. As a celebrity, as a entrepreneur, being around people, you cannot be around a lot of people that you don't even know who the heck they are and start joking. You lift somebody dress up. You don't even take them to no club like that. You should have said, look here, all you had to do is be real, because he never did find anybody. He don't even want to be tied down. So why even play that dumb game? That's like you going look for somebody on a reality show and you gonna be with them for happily ever after type bull. Come on, man. Which one of them reality shows? What's the boy with the clock around it? Flavor Flav. he did a reality show where he's supposed to be like the Bachelor or some stuff like that. Are y'all serious? This is what we come to? Look here, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.